out with the Biden administration, in with the Trump administration. It was called the Genius Act. The conditions seem more favorable than ever before. Ethereum has the momentum now. Solana needs to find its feet again.
Hi, and welcome back to Merill Talk. Today it's an expert talk with our usual expert on the crypto, Damien. I think a lot of things going on at the moment on the crypto. We will try to decrypt with you what's going on. Damien has a lot of insights as usual. So let's start our journey, our crypto journey. Thank you. And welcome, Damien.
Thank you for having me back.
Thank you, Damien. So to start today, the discussions, a lot of things going on in the US, especially I will say on the crypto, but not only in the crypto, because Trump found a way to finance his deficit using crypto and stablecoins. So how is your view and how you see the future of stablecoin?
So yes, the act that Trump had passed regarding stablecoin legislation, which is the first federal and state sort of legislation for this sort of thing. So it's a big milestone in crypto in general. It was called the Genius Act, which basically, like I said, mandates all of these stablecoin issuers like Circle, which is the biggest one that's IPO'd most recently, to have one-to-one backed assets of US dollar or treasuries or any low-risk asset. So any $1 of USDC, which is their native stablecoin on the blockchain, has to be backed by US treasuries, US dollar, or any low-risk assets that the US state might approve of. So it's quite big for the whole crypto space, but also, as you mentioned, for Donald Trump and the government to sort of, make the US dollar relevant again, so to speak, because it was losing some sort of dominance in the past couple of months or years.
And you, from your side, especially on the infrastructures, you think it's this new stablecoin backing with collateral like treasuries, it will change also because you need, I presume, infrastructures behind the scene.
So from a technical perspective, technical infrastructure, which is what we do at the company I work for, I would say it's less relevant than traditional infrastructure in the sense of like clearing houses or whatever. Now everything is settled on chain, so you would require blockchain infrastructure, such as Circle would be settling on, for example, the Ethereum blockchain, or a bunch of other L2s, Solana, Cosmos, etc. Blockchain is good because it enables instant finality and instant settlement. So it really makes it more efficient also for the whole industry, I would say.
Okay, so this is a game changer for you, this new act.
For crypto, it gives us a bit more legitimacy.
Legitimacy, yes. So if I'm asking questions on US versus Europe, because Europe we have the MICA in place, but the thing it's like, what's your opinion on the things like in Europe we are highly regulated with MICA, but we don't have the liquidity, like US creating the liquidity on the crypto space, when Europe was more on the side of putting like more stable but more bureaucratic approach. How you see the things on the impulsions on the market at the moment? Do you think it was more US and the liquidity push, and how you see MICA in this case?
So I think the two bills are quite different. MICA was more about like regulation and making sure everything's in check, whereas the Genius Act does that, but it was more of a let's start to innovate sort of act. It was shutting down a lot of questions. The US has been closing a lot of investigations, SEC or the DOJ, on companies or even individuals of large crypto companies. So it's, MICA didn't do much in terms of like pushing blockchain forward. This Genius Act, I would say, has more of a catalyst effect where it's going to drive a lot of liquidity. retail or even institutions, they're coming now because, you know, the conditions seem more favorable than ever before.
So for our audience, Damien, all this push on the liquidity side, which is a massive catalyst, not only on the crypto, but I think probably spread also to the equity market, how you see the institutions making the adoptions, and I think there is the DeFi. So how is your perspective going forward for the institution adoptions?
So for institutions, we've recently seen quite a few taking, I guess, the leap of having some form of their business come on chain. More recently, I would say like Robinhood using Arbitrum, which is a layer 2 for some sort of tokenized stocks. Maybe a more recognized name is Coinbase, and they have their own layer 2, which is called Base, which, you know, makes it more of like a more institutional friendly playground, I guess, because it's backed by an institution itself. So you see a lot of these different networks, sorry, not networks, these companies trying to slowly find their way onto the blockchain. More recently, we have a large bank partnering with Coinbase. I'm not quite, I think the name was PNY. They're using some sort of system where it's favorable for both parties, allowing custody of assets through Coinbase also. When it comes to, you know, decentralized finance and DeFi, and, you know, these institutions, I would say they're getting a bit more brave. Slowly, they're starting to see the power of DeFi and how quickly and how streamlined it can, you know, make some of its own processes. Yeah, and it opens up these companies to a far larger user base also.
So clearly, what your message here is, like, before they have been like really not so enthusiastic, and now it's becoming more and more normal. It's becoming more and institutionalized in the way.
Yes.
And you think the bank are also using it?
Yes, I mean, we've seen, you know, news articles every other week about either like JP Morgan using Avalanche and the Onyx blockchain projects, you know, Robinhood, Base, Kraken, another exchange. These large banks like BNY and even PNY, I'm not quite sure if I got the name right, but you'll have to excuse me.
So yes, you're talking about Avalanche. So I know that you have been following also closely this protocol. So you see like Avalanche is gaining also some tractions on the...
Yes, I would say that there are quite a few projects within the space that are more institutional focused, or the institutions seem to enjoy what they offer. So there's Avalanche, there's Ethereum, which, you know, is the second oldest blockchain, or not maybe the second oldest blockchain, but it's one of the old ones that institutions seem to enjoy a lot. There's obviously Ripple, which is always there in some form. It's always on the news for some reason. But yeah, those are like the three biggest ones that come to my mind when it comes to like institutional adoption and like a playground for them to test on.
Damien, we are here in Europe and US in the crypto side, but I think not long time ago you went to Dubai to the crypto event. How's the feeling? So you see also some adoptions in the Middle East?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the event I went to, which was back in April, it's called Token24 Dubai, which is what they say the largest crypto event. It's more catered towards businesses and institutions, market makers and venture capitalists and so on. So the exhibition floor was mainly filled with, you know, large exchanges like OKX. You have a few market makers that, you know, they're quite large, and you also have a few VCs. So there's a lot of money flowing around, a lot of investments going on, a lot of pre-seeds, seed rounds, Series A's, a lot of even mergers happening in the space more recently. I just think that, you know, coming into 2025, you know, out with the Biden administration, in with the Trump administration, maybe it took some more time than people thought for stuff to start cascading, but, you know, summertime hit, all of these legislations coming through, You see a lot of spillage into the traditional market with a lot of these IPOs happening. Circle IPO, Galaxy Digital, which is founded by Mike Novogratz. He's been in the space forever. They debuted on NASDAQ back in May. A couple of weeks ago, BitGo, which is like one of the largest custodians in the space, has around $100 billion worth of assets under management. They filed for IPO in the US. So there's a lot of enthusiasm all around, both within and also spilling out into the traditional market, equity market, which is creating like a cycle, which is constantly driving stuff.
Interesting. So you see like more like this cycle of crypto is also side by side with the equity.
Yes, and it makes sense because the more institutional adoption, the more regulation there is, it just becomes part of the normal financial system.
Mm-hmm. So you're quite positive, I will say, crypto as a catalyst and also as pushing IPOs and exactly and technology. So you see like really a bright future, clearly for the years to come, I would say. So
we can hope so, yes.
Yes, we hope so. So I think this push of the liquidity. Do you think, my questions, do we need more regulation or not? I'm talking about Europe.
When it comes to Europe, I would be afraid to use the term more regulation, just because I feel like there's already a lot of hurdles. This MICA license made it harder to conduct business here. Obviously, I feel like the licenses are coming out more and more. We're in Malta, and Malta has one of the highest issuance of MICA licenses. And even Gemini, they're another large company. They're moving from Ireland to Malta.
Okay.
And I would assume that they get the MICA license fairly soon.
So you think the micro or the ecosystem in Malta is really bringing a lot of companies here?
Yeah, we were technically labeled the blockchain island quite a few years ago, but that somewhat fizzled out. But I think in the background, we are somewhat having more of a, we're becoming like a gateway for some companies to operate here and give out this license that they need to operate in Europe.
Okay, interesting. So positive message on the crypto, positive message on the equity, and positive message also on Malta.
Yes.
So Damien, just to conclude our interview, and thanks for your time again. You came last time, we discussed Solana as an Ethereum killer.
Right.
It seems like the hype is over. So it's back more like Ethereum is back on the track and Solana more on the side. How is your view about Solana? I know it's not here, we give advice, again, it's not the channel for right things, but more like, did the hype is over for Solana?
So back when we spoke about Solana versus Ethereum quite a few months ago, I guess Ethereum was going through a bit of a rough patch.
Correct, yeah.
A bit is an understatement, but I think since then the price action was quite favorable. The news around Ethereum is also quite favorable. All of these companies wanting to settle on Ethereum, build on Ethereum. I think Solana suffered a lot because it was too heavily, maybe the assumption was that Solana was like this meme chain, purely focused on like creating memes, through pump.fun, which coincidentally launched its own token about a week or two ago. Obviously, the price of that didn't live up to expectations, but it did launch at a $4 billion valuation, which is quite impressive and crazy at the same time. But I don't think Solana is dead per se. Maybe it's trying to find its feet again after the whole meme frenzy. Meme coins aren't dead; they're not going to go anywhere. But maybe with the rest of the market booming, people aren't so focused on creating like a quick buck, with these pump and dump sort of tokens. There's a lot going on Solana, don't get me wrong. None of what I'm saying is proper advice, it's just my own observations. Some people have other observations. But I think Ethereum has the momentum now. Solana needs to find its feet again.
Okay, thank you very much, Damien. It's really a pleasure to have you here to give us some insight. Hopefully to see you soon on our channel. And if you want to more about Damien's, it's maybe just on your company, quickly.
Sure. So yeah, our company, we're called Simply Staking. We provide blockchain infrastructure to over 30 different networks as validators. We also have a different side of the business which handles data provisioning, such as RPC nodes. But yeah, there'll be more information, I'm sure, in the description of this video.
Yes, thank you very much for your time. Always happy. As we know, it's a Merill Expert Talk today. We are a fund, so we don't touch at all crypto, but I think it's always important for us to understand this ecosystem, especially this year. As Damien said, it was going in parallel, side by side, the equity market and the crypto, and for us, clearly the crypto was the catalyst and bring a lot of liquidity to the market. So I think for us, for our audience base, it's always important to be informed. And for the past, I will say even 2 years, Damien is always our guest and expert on the crypto. And obviously, if you have questions, don't hesitate. Thank you very much for your time and see you soon. Bye.